up in Paragould, Arkansas with my mom, my dad, and my older sister, Micah. My dad has been my pastor since I was 2 years old. Because my faith played such a huge role in my childhood, it's really rolled over into what I do today. Missions have always been a big part of my life. I went on my first mission trip when I was in 5th grade, and since then it was kind of like I could never go back to a life where I wasn't serving somewhere. I went on my first trip by myself this past summer to Kenya. While I was there, I was just there to work as a preschool teacher, but God had something bigger for me in store. At one point I got sick, and the whole week I got to go visit some children's homes. That whole time, God was just speaking to me and just really pulling my heart to the children's homes. I didn't know why or what He was wanting me to do. As the month went on, He just kept speaking to me more, kind of through people and just in things that were happening. I just had to kind of piece the puzzles together, and the only way that I could do that was getting in the Word every day. And I finally got my answer one weekend when I went to Busia to teach at a Bible school. God really just revealed what He had been telling me the whole time, and it was to start a children's home there. We had pretty much everything right there for me to start it before I left. We had a social worker that lived at the house with us. We had an accountant that Fred was really close friends with. Fred knew the children's officers in the town that I wanted to start it at. So we really had it all right there for me. That week we went on Wednesday and got a certificate to register the house that I was living in. And that Thursday we went and we rescued our first 4 kids, and then Friday we got 2 more, and then we got another one Saturday before I left. And so I got to spend just a few days before I came back to the States. In July of 2017, I started out with 6 kids, and I just went back in January of 2018, and now I have 35 kids. Since I started my own organization, I had the freedom to name it pretty much whatever I chose. I ended up naming it Under His Wings. That comes from the verse Psalm 91:4. It says, He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. I chose that because about a month before I left for my trip to Kenya, I was told that I should get a mentor. So I had Joy Ligon help me, and one thing that she advised me to do is to pick a passage of scripture and just read and pray over it every day before my trip. And while I was there, we went to a different church service every Sunday that I was there. At 4 of those church services, they read over Psalm 91, and it was a different church every week. So here I am, 19 years old, and I'm a freshman here at Arkansas State University. This year's been so fun in a lot of ways, but it's been very challenging at the same time. A big challenge that I faced was finding a major that fit me. As a child, I originally wanted to be a nurse, but I always knew I would have something to do with missions because I wanted to do medical missions and work with kids just in other countries and get to show them the love of Christ through that. So now, almost a year later, I've looked into nursing, elementary education, business administration, marketing, and now I'm an art therapy major. So the great thing about art therapy is that it's universal in many ways. Art is something that you see anywhere that you go in the world, and it's not something that's bound by your language or your culture or what family you grew up in or anything. It's something that just really speaks to anybody. At the end of the day, my goal is to live a life full of joy, and I want to bring that into every situation, whether it's on the other side of the world in Kenya with my kids or here in the classroom with other students at Arkansas State. Ultimately, I want my joy to point others to Jesus. My name is Maddie Archer, and I'm a human of A-State.